Hello, everybody. Welcome to World Border Breakers with Taiwanda Bason. And you are joining us today for Lifestyles and Cribs Abroad. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. And please remember to share. Also, if you have any questions or comments, you can jot those down in the comment section and we'll try to get to some of those at the end of the broadcast. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Miss Shardea Brown over in China. Hi, Shardea.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you today?
I'm great. The weather is pretty good today. Nice and sunny outside.
Yes, it looks really nice out there. Okay, so I guess we're going to go ahead and get started. Tell our viewers where you are.
I am actually located in Beijing, China. I live in the major district. I live in Chaoyang district, which is kind of the center of Beijing. So I'm close to all of the restaurants and the nightclubs and the lounges and all those type of fun things. I'm right in the middle of it all.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we see the beautiful view out there where you are. Can you tell us a little bit about where you are standing now?
So I'm actually right in front of my building. They have tons of flowers and they have a pond and sometimes they turn on the water features. And this is just something that's in my complex where I live.
Oh, wow. It looks really nice out there. A nice place to just go and relax and just take in the scenery.
Yes, it's very relaxing.
Awesome, awesome. And so, what exactly are you doing there in Beijing?
Actually, I am a teacher at Beijing City International School and I teach pre-K there. So 4 to 5.
Okay, okay, okay. So awesome, awesome, awesome. We see like it looks like there are a lot of high rises around you as
Yes,
well.
yes, lots of apartment buildings because the complex is enormous. There's so many people that live in this complex. Like I can't even imagine. Like this is all part of the complex that I live in. So all these buildings that you're seeing
Wow.
is all a part of my complex.
Wow, wow, just one complex. Okay. Look, is that like about 25 or 30, 25 or 30 floors, maybe?
Yeah, they're typically around 25 floors. That seems
Okay.
to be the norm, the average, at least in this area where I'm at.
Okay. So what's the temperature about now?
Today it's around the low 80s. So it's actually quite warm today. It's a shorts and t-shirt day.
Okay, okay, okay. And the sky is very clear too, because I know people hear a lot of things about pollution, but it looks pretty clear
It's
to me.
it's okay today. It's not that great actually. The AQI is a little unhealthy, but it's not as bad as it can be.
Okay, okay, awesome, awesome. So, are you about at the entrance of your building?
Yes, so I wanted to quickly show you on the first floor, typically of the buildings, we have like a little shop. So inside you can get like all of your little things, snacks and
Hmm.
vegetables. So it's a mix of like Chinese snacks and then a Western American type of snacks. And I usually walk through there if I need water or any little odds and ends before I go up into my apartment. So it's really convenient and it's very cheap.
Wow. That's really nice. How you're in a very nice neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to be in this area. Like I said, it's really close to everything, and I pretty much walk or ride a bike. They have the city bikes, the Mo bike, and I typically ride that around the city, or I walk or take the subway because I'm also really
Mhm.
close to the subway stop.
Okay, okay, awesome, awesome. And we it's Good thing you have the elevators there.
Yes, so we're about to get into the elevator.
Okay.
And as you can see, there's quite a bit of floors. So this one actually goes up to 29.
Okay.
I live on the 19th floor.
Okay. Wow. Wow. I'm curious. Is there a 13th floor on there?
There is not. There is not.
Okay. Okay. That's what. I heard about that, but I wasn't sure if they do that everywhere. If they skip the 13th floor or not.
Yeah, they do because that's a bad luck number. So they don't ever include that in any elevator. So I technically am now the 19th floor if we do the math. So, but
Okay. And while we're going to your apartment, can you tell us what made you move abroad?
well, this is actually my second time abroad. I used to live in Abu Dhabi for 4 years as a teacher. And an opportunity presented itself where one of my friends that I worked with in Abu Dhabi actually came to China and came to this school. And I
Okay.
had the opportunity to come as a tourist and visit the school, and I was so impressed that it was a place that I definitely wanted to work. So then I applied and eventually got the position that I was looking for.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Wow. Wow. Abu Dhabi to China.
Yes, yes. So we have also motion sensors, so the lights just went out in the hallway because if you have to kind of step your foot down and then all the lights come back on.
It's okay. It's okay.
So now we are entering my apartment, and as you can see, it's very well lit. There's lots of natural lighting going on. And I have some built-in pieces that I couldn't really change, but I wish I could have shown you guys a before picture because this is not what it looked like when I moved in at all.
Oh.
I've done a lot of decorating and switching the furniture around to make it workable for me.
Mhm.
So if you are considering coming to China and you are looking at apartments, don't be discouraged sometimes by the way it looks before you move in because it was quite scary, honestly. It was like I couldn't see the floor. There was just stuff everywhere. Yeah, it was a lot. But I saw the potential in the furniture because for me, I needed neutral furniture. That was my main thing, and I saw the pieces because in China, the furniture is typically included in your apartment. So
Mhm.
I was like, at least I like the furniture. Hopefully, all of this mess will be taken out, and it was. So then I was able to really repurpose everything because some things were not used correctly. I had outdoor furniture in here, and it was just very, very strange. So I'll kind of start with like this area here that I've kind of turned into my little dining area.
Mhm.
So the table was here, it was already here. But I just
Mhm.
added, of course, the tablecloth and kind of made it my own. I bought the chairs from IKEA, the little stools, because those were my
Nice.
own. And then, of course, the artwork I actually purchased here in Beijing at an art expo, just to give it a little homey feel. And typically, the apartments are not that big because I do live in the middle, the center of the city. The farther out you go, the bigger your apartment is, which is typically in any large city. The closer you are to all the action, typically the smaller your apartment is because they're
Ah,
limited in space.
yeah.
So this here is my living area. So I have my
Okay.
couch. All this furniture was here. I did not purchase any of it. I just added pillows and
Mhm.
candles, but all of these pieces, this large TV stand, and
Mhm.
all of that was all here. And as well,
Wow.
yeah. So it was
That was
really nice to have all these things here, and then
yeah.
also the desk was here as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, that's all really nice. Do you think it was from the people that were there before you or from the apartment complex?
So, what happens is in China is that landlords own just the actual like apartment. They don't
Mhm.
typically own an entire building. So,
Mhm.
my landlord, this is the furniture he chose for this apartment. So, every apartment is very different. It kind of depends on the taste of the landlord. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's like you really, and they're usually not quite flexible. Sometimes with like removing the furniture, even if you volunteer to pay for it, sometimes you're not flexible. I'm lucky my landlord does speak a bit of English. He was quite flexible in letting me remove some things that I didn't want. So sometimes if you work and negotiate with your realtor, you can kind of get some things removed, some things added, um,
Mm-hmm.
just to make it more homey feeling because you kind of don't want to live in a place that you're not comfortable. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's like very important to me, like especially when you're living in a new country, finding a
Mm-hmm.
space that's like comfortable for you.
Yes,
And
exactly.
then we are going to go into this is the kitchen. So in
Really?
China, there's typically no stove. There's just the burners, the tops.
Mm-hmm.
And I have like a little toaster oven here and a kettle for tea and coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then also just, of course, a sink.
Oh,
And
wow.
all
Yeah.
this stuff was here. And then
Mm-hmm.
my refrigerator. It's not like huge, but I'm also single, so it does.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need that much space. And also in this space, if we go in a little further, is like my little area where I do my washing,
Mm-hmm.
like the little washing machine here.
Okay.
And it just washes, it doesn't dry, so I hang my clothes to dry. Um, but yeah, that's the space. It's a narrow, like, galley kitchen. They
Mm-hmm.
typically don't, it's either a square kitchen you would get or this type of kitchen just to save on space.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I do have a lot of cabinets, as you can see, so I do have quite a bit of storage.
Yeah, that's a nice kitchen.
And
Wow.
also, when you come out, I have this purifier. So
Okay.
um, typically, because the air can be bad, people usually have air purifiers in their homes just
Mm-hmm.
to keep the air clean.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that I purchased when I first got here, and it's been a great investment. So if you are planning on moving to China, I would recommend getting like a quality air purifier.
Mm-hmm.
And keeping your windows and things closed so that the air stays clean inside your
Okay.
home.
Okay. Now, about how much do the air purifiers cost?
Well, it depends on the brand. I actually bought mine secondhand
Mm-hmm.
on WeChat, which is what we use here to communicate primarily. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like a buy and sell group.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought it from a woman, and she sold it to me for about 150 US,
Mm-hmm.
um, which for what it does and for the size and the space. I only need one. So, like I said, it's a great investment. They're typically a lot, they can be quite pricey, new. Um, but to me, I thought it was important for me to have like a quality one. I have a Blue Air
Mm-hmm.
uh, purifier, so I've liked it, enjoyed it so far. It's not too loud. Some of them can be quite loud. Mine isn't that loud, so.
Okay. Okay. Um, and so exactly how did you find your place?
So again, this is because my school is really organized. Um, they provided me with a realtor, and they showed me two different apartments within this complex,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave me the option to choose. And my realtor is Chinese, so she's able to negotiate and speak to the landlord, of course, in their native tongue. So it helps when you want to negotiate to have a realtor, of course, that speaks Chinese, so you can go back and forth and kind of. It's still kind of like a haggling of how much you want to pay. You can kind of
Mm-hmm.
always ask for a cheaper price here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always have to go with what they're offering you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was just like I said, it was very smooth transition and getting a realtor because the school provided it, the realtor, and they did all
Good.
the paperwork and took care of all those things that can be kind of a headache when when you're trying to navigate a new
Mm-hmm.
country and trying to find a place to live.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's hard to find one bedroom apartments in Beijing because those are
Wow.
typically the cheapest.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people actually purchase them for businesses, so they
Ah.
have their businesses in the apartments.
Mhm.
So it can be quite tricky finding a one bedroom that kind of suits your needs, and that's not like so it's not so expensive because again, it is quite can be quite expensive for a
Mhm.
one bedroom as well.
Okay, okay. And so, what's the price range for yours?
So my apartment, because my school organized it,
Mhm.
I'm at the max of what they offer. So I pay, well, my school pays 11,000 RMB a month, which translates to about 1,500 US a month,
Okay.
which is quite pricey. But
Yeah.
again, I am in a big city. I am in Beijing, and if you just think of any big city around the world, the rent
Yeah.
to live in the middle of the city is typically going to be higher. So it's really not that bad in comparison to other cities in the world, I think.
Mhm.
But again, my school is paying for it. I am not paying the rent. So it's a,
Yeah, that's good because yeah, it has to be because of Beijing because that's almost triple where I was. I think the second time in Shanghai, but but it was
yeah.
expensive.
So
Yeah.
but there is an area where there are a lot of international schools. It's called Shani, and it's right. It's close to the airport. And like my friend lives in like a loft, like 2 floor, beautiful apartment for half of what I pay. So
Wow.
there are some coworkers of mine that have opted to live farther out and just do the commute
Mm.
for having the cheaper
Yeah.
housing for more space. And even parents of the kids in my school, they typically will travel further out so that they have more space.
Yeah. But it's exactly like what you said. So that's something to keep in mind. Like if people want to be in the center, you're gonna pay a whole lot more.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, a whole lot more. Like you said, it's very different, and each district is also the prices vary. And even right outside of where I live, a couple blocks down, because that
mhm,
area isn't as developed,
mhm.
um, is cheaper. So it can be as close as a couple blocks away from where you're looking. If you become flexible, and where you're willing to live, then you can save quite a bit of money.
Okay, okay, that's good to know. And does your school also cover the utilities for you?
I actually pay for the electricity,
Mm-hmm.
but because the government controls the heating, um,
Mm-hmm.
in the winter months, my landlord is required to pay for that. So I don't pay for the heating of my apartment in the
Mm-hmm.
winter. They have to take care of that, but I do pay for the electricity. And I don't typically cook, but when I do venture with the stove tops, it is gas. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I will get a little note on my door to pay my gas bill. But I also pay all of my utilities through WeChat, which is quite easy. So I don't have to actually go to a physical building or drop off anything. Everything's just done through the app.
Okay, and are they kind of expensive or pretty cheap?
It's super cheap. But the one thing about the electricity here is that you have to pay up front. So you pay for it before you use it. So
Ah,
there's like a little thing outside of my door, where I can check to see how much money I have left.
oh,
um,
that's good.
yeah, on the meter. And when it's starting to get low, I can just reload it.
Oh my goodness, that is so good that you have that. I remember the second place I was in Shanghai, it was like that, and I wasn't used to that because the other place you just they tell you how much and you pay, and then I remember the first time it was like the lights just went out, everything just went out. I
No,
was
I,
like,
I've no, I've gone on vacation and I've come back home and I'm like, my lights, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I need to put more money into electricity, because I forget, because it's quite cheap. I mean, a month I maybe pay like $5 or $6. Like it's really not anything compared to what I would pay at home. So, and I'm also single. I also don't like keep on my lights and things. And during the day, you can see I have a lot of natural light, so I don't really need to use electricity that much. So for me, I don't spend that much on electricity. It's quite cheap.
okay, so that's good to know that is not so expensive.
Yeah.
Um, So I guess you want to show us a little more of your apartment?
Sure.
Okay.
So now I will take you to my bathroom, which in China can
Um,
look like this or not. So I have a typical Western toilet and a closed off shower with the
mhm,
glass here. So in sometimes in China, you can just have the shower part and then not the glass here. It'll just
mhm.
be an open thing. But this actual complex has the Western style that you would typically see back home. And like I said, I have my toilet here, and then I have lots of space
Yeah.
and a great mirror.
That's what I was gonna say. That's a nice and very spacious bathroom.
Yeah, it's quite spacious again for where I'm located, and I've seen other people's, and it can get quite tight. So I feel like I'm very fortunate to actually have a pretty spacious bathroom. But however, I do want to let you guys see this. The designing of it is
Uh-huh.
quite strange because when you pull out, the
Uh-huh.
toilet is like right here, so you really don't have much space to actually
Um,
get in. And it's just because I think it's something that they're not used to actually installing. So
yeah, yeah,
that,
that's right. 'Cause they usually don't have that, especially in the more traditional ones, right? Everything is like kind of open.
yeah, everything's kind of open typically in the bathroom. So this is the style that my realtor showed me. So
Hmm.
that was cool. And then this here is my bedroom. I have a
Okay.
1 bedroom apartment, so this is the one and only bedroom. And then I've converted this little space into like a reading nook here.
Hmm.
And then I have my dresser. And then also, it's very nice. I have built in closets. So I have quite a bit of
Okay.
storage for my
Nice.
luggage and for my clothes. And then I also have like this other piece here where I put my shoes and things in. So it keeps everything from being cluttered and everywhere. So
Nice.
it's and then, like I said, this is like my little book area. I can just sit out and look at the view.
Very nice.
And at night, I turn the lights on. It's all lit up in this little area.
Very nice. You have a nice apartment. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's pretty
Wow.
much it.
Okay, okay, awesome, awesome. But I really like the way that you have it decorated and everything. And I just want to ask, are those real plants like that I see?
Yes. So I have three real plants here. The rest of them, if you see it, have seen any other ones, they're the fake ones from IKEA. Um,
Hmm.
but I do have three real plants that I do water regularly, just again to help with the air, and it's just nice to have some fresh plants around. I also
That
have an IE, so I have a woman that comes once a week, and her job is to also remember to water them because I don't really have a green thumb. So
that's what I was gonna say because I was like, I just can't because like it'll probably die like on me. I'm
yeah,
not used to.
she keeps them maintained for me. So once a week she does come and water them because before I had her, they weren't looking too lively. So she maintained.
Okay, okay. Now is the IE also provided by the school or?
No,
Um,
so I she actually works for another coworker of mine, and she wanted some extra hours. So she just comes every Wednesday for about 3 hours, which equates to about $10 a
mhm.
week. So to me, it's
Wow.
bad. Yeah. Just for her to kind of tidy up. She irons my clothes and does my linens and all that, so I don't have to worry about it. So it's just nice to have that little convenience.
Wow. Very, very nice. Now, I want to tell those of our viewers who may just be joining us. Again, if you have any questions, you can jot those down in the comment section and we'll try to get to those at the end of the broadcast. But again, we are joined by Shardea Brown. She's a teacher there in Beijing, China. And we just got a chance to see her lovely apartment in our edition of Lifestyles and Cribs Abroad. So we have a couple more questions for you,
Okay.
Shardea. Okay. So how did you find your place for those who may be joining us because they may be interested in coming, they don't know what they have to do, if the school going to have the place ready for them, or how did you actually find your place?
Okay, so again, it all depends on the school. So there's
Okay.
never like in China, it can vary greatly
Mhm.
with how this works. But for me, the school will provide you with an apartment your first year. That's something that they require, and it's something that it's in their contract for you. So
Mhm.
before I came here, I knew that I was going to be getting an apartment. However, because there was a shortage of one bedrooms, I was fortunate enough to be able to choose my apartment. So that's why they provided the realtor for me to look and find the place that I thought was suitable for me. Because typically, most of the teachers come in, they don't have a choice.
Mhm.
They pretty much are given an apartment, and that's what they have to work with. Doesn't matter whether it's their taste or not. It's just how it works. But again, I was lucky that they didn't have any close to the main campus, and I was offered the opportunity to work with a realtor to find a place that I actually liked.
Mhm. Okay, okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. And did you go to China alone? Did you have family with you, or did you go with friends?
I actually came here alone. Again, previously, what I was saying is I have a friend who works for the same school. So I did have someone who I knew that I could reach out to and ask questions and inquire about how things run in the school before I even started, which was very helpful. I always find that a lot of people ask questions and they want to know, and it was just really helpful to have someone who's actually in the school and had been working there for several years that I could kind of reach out to whenever I had an issue, and also to give my spare key to because I did lose my key once,
Oh,
so
wow.
it was very helpful that she had the spare key as well.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Now, are there any tips or tricks that you would like to share with the viewers?
For me, it's just when you get here, I use a lot of. I went to IKEA and I just found things to make my space comfortable for me. Because I
Mhm.
find when you're living in another country, things are unfamiliar. You're trying to get used to the cultural changes and differences. So
Mhm.
for me, just even having photos from home and things that I can look back at, and again, buy candles that I like, and just have everything that makes me comfortable and relaxed. um,
Mhm.
to me, that's a tip that I would definitely take advantage of, is finding things that you're used to and even bringing things from home. Like I brought people that were like, I thought I was crazy, but I brought my linens and things from home because I'm used to the texture and I
Yeah.
know how they're made. Because sometimes in other countries things are made differently, maybe not to your liking.
Mhm.
So I just use those bags, the Ziploc bags that you can compress in the
Mhm.
vacuum, and I was able to bring like lots of bigger like sheets and things that I'm used to back home, which again adds to that being comfortable and with your space that you're living in. So that's just one of the big tips that I would give to people that are considering not just moving to China, but just to any other country that they've never lived in before. Because visiting is totally different than living in the space in the environment.
Yes, 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 exactly. Very good tip. Like you said, even your friends were like, "What? You taking linens?" I mean, I think they know, but it's what you need to feel good, to feel comfortable, just in case they didn't have exactly what you wanted there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes a big difference in your experience, I think, abroad when you have the things that you want and the things that you need in place, especially because isn't it just like, just like life if you were back home, like once you get settled in,
Yeah.
yeah. And
I
so
totally.
when the negative things happen, to be able to have those things that you want and need in place, I think that helps. Like you said, some people's apartments and how you said how they're found. I have some negative situations on top of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Now, for our viewers who may be interested in coming to China, or they may be interested in what you're doing, because I know that you have a presence online as well. Can you share how they can contact you?
Sure. I'm definitely active on Instagram. That's like my primary way of like kind of showing people my travels and my experiences, even within my classroom and what I'm doing with the kids. And my handle is Miss Brown Gets Around. So you can find me there. And also just Shardea Brown on Facebook. I can be found on Facebook as well. And I respond to messages. I'm in a lot of groups, especially the Brothers and Sisters of China group. So if anyone has any questions, I'm definitely happy to answer any questions or any concerns or hesitations or misconceptions or anything you have. Definitely happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, okay, awesome. Well, we appreciate you sharing your lovely home with us today. And for our viewers, you can see her information is also going across the screen. So I'm going to head down and see any comments or questions that we have down here. And thank you again for all of you who joined us. Let's see. Lanita says, pre-K teacher. Oh, she's a pre-K teacher from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the USA. So she was just checking in to say hello. Uh,
Hello.
and she was also saying, "Wow, it's good to know that your school pays the rent
Yeah.
for." Yes, 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 yes. And depending on where people are, I know it's kind of late, maybe late at night, and then others it may be kind of early in the morning. But we may have some other people that leave comments and questions like later on the post, and you guys feel welcome to do that. I'll be able to check them, and sure they can see them as well. I want to say thank you again very much, Shardea, for giving us your time today to share where you're living and how you're living there in Beijing, China.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. And to our guests, thank you guys for joining us as well. And I want to tell you to stay tuned for other upcoming episodes of Lifestyles and Cribs Abroad. And if you would like to contact me, if you have questions about lifestyles and cribs abroad, or you want to find out what I'm doing, you can always visit taiwandabason.com. And you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Taiwanda Bason. And again, I want to tell you guys thank you very much, Shardea, and our viewers for joining us today. And one more thing before we go, I just want to say until you go, you'll never know. And see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye.